Same thing would go on this side because this is a dark area. Unless this is a high traffic walking area, you might want to put more lights, but I would probably just try and have a couple wash lights in there, not so much that it's gonna light up and create a lit pathway, but so as you're looking at this area, it doesn't look like this big dark abyss.
Hey guys, it's Cal from The Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys enjoy this video with some more great landscape lighting tips. To learn more about landscape lighting, go and check out our website at lightingdoctor.ca, or if you want to see what a real quality landscape light should look like, go and check out our try it before you buy it offer, where you can get a premium quality fixture at a discounted rate with your very own battery pack, so you can go and test out how that light's going to look and feel what a real premium quality light should look like. So go and check us out at lightingdoctor.ca, or go watch more videos on YouTube just by searching for The Lighting Doctor.
Hey Jim, yeah, thanks for your email and your pictures. Your house is one of my favorites to light with landscape lighting because of the beautiful brickwork you have, and just the style, kind of that wrench style, if you want to call it that. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite houses to light. So I'll show you kind of how I would do that with a couple different lights. Obviously you emailed me, so you were aware that we do have some sales. Sorry for the short notice, but yeah, just let me know how I can help today. I should be available most of the day. But primarily on a house like this, like here's just a good example. This is a little bit more stone, but same kind of thing is we just really want to graze that and highlight that. And we do that primarily using uplights. So what I would do is I'll just kind of show you a couple different lights and then how I would go about doing that. So I'm just trying to get some other pics. Okay. So first off, I would start with the house, and even though you have some shrubs in the front of the brickwork, I still want to highlight that so I get some of the top peaks, and I'll talk to you about the shrubs in a little bit. But so like for example, I might be able to see another picture here, but what I like to do is try and get an uplight, usually about 12, 18 inches, sometimes 24 inches back, and have it shining fairly upright, so it's just kind of grazing the brickwork that you have there. So I would have one there, and depending how much room there is on the other side of the window, I would probably have one there, or shine it against the side of the house, which I'll get to those pictures. But then I would do the same thing on this side, kind of behind these plants. As long as there's room, hopefully there's enough room to get behind there. You only need, again, if you can get like 12 inches of room back there that you can just have those lights shining up, that does a really nice job of lighting that peak as much as possible. If it's not complete concrete here, or even if you have room to get an uplight over to light up the front entryway, I would. One of the comments I always get is, well, I have the house light, so I don't need it there. But 90% of the time when people don't put it, they wish they had, and they usually come back and end up adding those because it's just a different lighting effect. These are bright, kind of glary, more of a security lighting, whereas the uplighting is really, it's more of an ambient light, and it really highlights the entryway and makes it pop and stand out. So I would definitely do that there. I would continue that same kind of theme that we did over here on the other side, kind of on both sides of the windows, but these ones you could almost have under the windows, so they're catching some of the frame, and the light is kind of nicely spreading to the top peak here. But I would have probably 2 of those there, and then on this side I would probably have 2 of those kind of right on the edge of the windows. That would do a really nice job of lighting this area. And then again, depending on where this light is, this probably gives you, again, it's a totally different light, it's a brighter light, so it probably gives you quite a bit of light in here. But I would still try and get one of those accent lights. I'm hoping there's room behind there, but kind of in the middle of this window frame, again, that's shining up and kind of getting to this top peak. And you could even have it a little bit more on the corner and even angled this way a bit, so that it tries to catch some light up to that second story peak. So if that makes sense, and I'll come back to those areas as well. So this is still the front of the house. Yeah, so you do have room for that second light on both sides of the windows there. So I would definitely do that. And then on these trees in the front, this is where, again, I would use just a couple of those uplights, like these guys here. So the same light, you could use that. The only thing is with the one tree, because it is a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, you might want to use something a little bit brighter. So sometimes we upgrade that from what is the standard 4-watt LED lamp that comes in there. We'll upgrade that to a 5-watt LED, which we call a 35-watt halogen equivalent lamp. And have that at the base of this tree. And the reason we do that is just because it does a better job of getting light up to the canopy. On this one, I would just use a standard light as well. If I go around to the back, as much as possible, again, I would really I would focus more on some of the deciduous trees. So I would try and get another uplight on here, probably one over here, and then a couple in here. And if you can, I would try and focus more on doing the deciduous trees that are in this bed. These might be farther back, so they might be irrelevant. And the reason I say that is just because evergreens are very tough to light, because obviously they grow away from the light. So the only way to do it properly is to kind of get a light in here that kind of shines up. Otherwise, if you get it too close, these bottom branches suck all the leaves, and if you get it too far, well, then nothing, then it doesn't get much. So you usually have to get a light back out in the grass, which we do if that's something you really want to do. And we use an in-ground light like this that sits flush in the grass. You can still angle these lights in here a little bit so that it can still get those spruces. But that's the thing, is if you have to be too far back, you can only angle it so much. So I mean, you can kind of get it about to here, still have that angle, and light a few of those if you wanted to. But if you can accent some of these, even with that 35 watt equivalent, that slightly brighter one, it still does the same effect. It creates that perimeter lighting effect. It's a little brighter, and I don't mind using a brighter one on these bigger trees that are farther out, because it helps them stand out a little bit more as well. Along this area here, this is where I would just subtly light these with, and I'm assuming there's probably enough room, but you don't have to light every square inch of this, but this is where I like just using a wash light, because it's not super bright. I don't want to create a big hot spot on those, and you have a lot of other nice features, so I think just a little bit of additional light with these is great, because it's a wider angle light, it's a softer light, so it does a really nice job if you can kind of get them on the edge of the bed and just kind of have like maybe 3 of those across here that's just evenly spaced out, creating a nice little consistent pattern of light. In the back area here, obviously, again, there's so many things that you could light that you really got to kind of pick and choose. You can always add on later, but I always say you're better off focusing on just a couple key features than trying to light everything and spread the lights out too thin. So I would probably try and get another uplight on this tree back in the corner. Definitely one of those 35 watt equivalent ones on this taller tree. And then what I would do is in a couple of these areas, again, that's where I would probably focus some of the wash lighting. I think if you could get a wash light to highlight this shrub and this shrub, it kind of highlights the entryway up to the back porch. And then you could copy that on this side, and it would do the same thing and kind of give you a little, it just kind of lights the entryway, makes it very inviting. And then you have a really nice area here lit up along with this guy, where you know, you don't have to add a whole ton more lighting. I might try and throw like a wash light over on this shrub, and then get another wash light on this shrub, and you know, garden feature or whatever that you have here. And again, not do too much. Really focus in on kind of this area, and then just have a couple helping lights on the side there. Same thing would go on this side, because this is a dark area. Unless this is a high traffic walking area, you might want to put more lights. But I would probably just try and have a couple wash lights in there, not so much that it's going to light up and create a lit pathway, but so as you're looking at this area, it doesn't look like this big dark abyss, if that makes sense. And then the last thing I will mention is on the front of the house here too, because I kind of talked about backlighting the wall. Well, this is where with some of these shrubs in the front, I might throw a little bit of a wash light in here, just so it creates a nice low level of light in here. It's not overpowering. It's not like you need to really put a whole bunch of emphasis on these, but it just avoids creating a big dark spot here by having that subtle little wash light in here. And then you might do the same in a couple of these areas too, where maybe you highlight this one with a wash light, maybe over here, and then maybe these lower shrubs. And then I would probably also try and get an uplight over there. So Jim, I know that's a lot of lights. That's a longer video, but you got a lot of nice features. So please just let me know how we can help. I'm more than happy to kind of customize a kit for you if you have a rough idea of what kind of ideas you like. If you're looking for a transformer, I would probably say you want to go with a 300 watt transformer. So, and you may be looking, I would say just looking at the pictures, you probably have one in the back. You could probably have a little bit of a smaller one there. Actually, you could probably have a 150 watt transformer in the back, and then another one in the front, I think would do a good enough job with the amount of lights that you have. Because these lights are so efficient that we sell, they don't use a lot of wattage or additional wattage with some of the cheaper models. They'll say that's a 5-watt lamp, but they're actually drawing like 9 watts, so it can cause some voltage drop issues. But if you were to stick with our standard 150-watt transformer, you'd pretty much be good to go. So again, let me know how we can help, and we'll just kind of go from there. Thanks, Jim.
Hey guys, so like I said, on this project, we actually pulled out a bunch of old fixtures. They're actually really good quality fixtures. The only problem, and not that it's a problem, but these were probably installed 20 years ago, and they're all halogen fixtures. I would say if you're installing a new landscape lighting system, don't even consider halogen. It's just going to make it a lot more difficult to design and plan your system, because you got to be a lot more careful with things like voltage drop and stuff. And if you're looking at getting a system installed and there's somebody out there who's still quoting you on a halogen system, the only reason they're doing it is they're just trying to make a sale, because halogen fixtures are cheaper than LED. Just like when you go buy a halogen bulb as opposed to an LED bulb for your home, the LED costs more, but you save more in power long term. You don't have to change bulbs all the time. And with a low voltage landscape lighting system, it just makes it a lot more attainable for the do-it-yourselfer to be able to go put in a system, because you don't have to worry about all those old videos on landscape lighting that are online that talk about voltage drop and hub and spoke and all that kind of stuff. Not that it's that important or not important. It's not as relevant as it used to be with halogen systems if you're using an LED system. So anyway, good fixtures, they're halogen. We're replacing them all with LED, but the thing that I want to really point out is the connections. So, you see these a lot at your big box stores. It's basically, there's many different kinds, but all it is it's like a clamp-on device that basically you stick your wires into, and it just pierces into the wires. And the problem with that is anytime you start poking holes into your wire and it's buried underground where the soil is moist and you get rain and all this kind of stuff, what do you think is going to happen to that wire over time, and what do you think is going to happen to that fixture? Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools on how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video, just send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.